Time for another mail day with Bearded Thinker. This time we will be looking at a couple of things that are related to projects, a lot of things related to Home Assistant, and something also related to both resin and the normal 3D printing. We'll start in a couple of seconds. Let's check this package. Ooh, nice. How many? 2, 5. Okay, so 5 volts NPN and O. Receiver is 5 volts VCC. Ground is black and white is out. And transmitter is just 5 volts plus ground. These are actually sensors somebody suggested on one of my videos how to do it. I am looking for something to measure times the valves open and close, maybe even the speed of them opening and closing, etc. for long-term valve testing. So I will hook this up to one of the ESP boards I have. I don't know if ESP8266 or ESP32. Hook it up to Home Assistant, install this inside the valve itself, not the smart thermostatic valve, but the actual valve. So one will be transmitting, the other one will be receiving the light. And then we will test to see how fast the TRVs are opening and closing. Also how long it takes before battery dies in terms of open and close movements, etc. I do have 5 valves. And I also got 5 of these. Maybe I'll get more valves, but actually I don't think that I can run this all at the same time. So I have now a couple of spare plus a couple to use with that project. Let's check the web listing. Yeah, actually something new. This item just arrived a couple of days ago, so I still haven't had time to play with it. I know what I will be doing with it, and that's why I bought it. But I still have to prepare the code and do a test run with one of the ESP boards. As you've seen in the video, we have 2 parts. One is the emitter and the other one is receiver. One has 3 wires, the other one has 2 wires. Both the 2 and the 3 wire require the same voltage, 5 volts, that I will be supplying to the ESP32 boards, so that shouldn't be the problem. And yes, as I said, those will be used to test valves. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valves here, but I think I will be trying to get my hands on a couple of more, maybe even the Akara TRV, and I think I will be doing some kind of a long-term testing. You have a couple of options here, but to buy different types of the sensors. If you are buying similar, if you find the cheaper ones, just be careful because not all of them advertise the voltage. Some run on 3 volts, some require 5 volts, others 12 volts, so be careful depending on your project type, just to make it easier for you to fit everything in. In terms of sizes, you can select the different length of the wires. If I remember correctly, I went with this short one because actually I don't need longer wires. The valves are like this, so 25 centimeters for both of the wires is more than enough for me. The item cost is €2.08 with a shipping cost of 26 cents to deliver it to Croatia. The store I bought it is the Endless Electronics store and rating is between 4.8 and 4.7. So yeah. By the way, those can be used for other things. As I said, I will be using them on both sides of the valves. This is the wrong valve. This valve has openings here and here. I have to have pass-through valve to detect when the valve opens and closes, and based on that I can create some kind of automation in Home Assistant to open and close them and to see the graph of speed opening, whatever. So I can probably get some data out of it. But yeah, as I mentioned, you can use it for other things. For example, it can be triggered when somebody's opening or somebody has crossed the line, entered or exited the room. Of course, with one of them you will not know if the person entered the room or exit, but with pair of them and them being triggered, first this one and that one, you know direction of movement of somebody, probably. So there are a couple of cases where you can use that. For example, if you have a cat or dog flap on your door, you can use it to detect when animal has entered or exit or opened, whatever. So yeah, now let's see the next item. Let's open this one. So the question is, for what is this used? This will be used for a resin printer once again. This is a small funnel. This can be added on top. It has a mesh for the filter, for the stuff that for example falls from the printed parts, and then you use this combo to get the resin back to the bottle after you finish printing. The quality of the build is so, but yeah, it should work. I also have some of those paper funnels with the filters inside, but I actually used all the small ones. I ordered some, then I received big ones that doesn't fit in the bottle. It messed everything up. So I was looking forward to seeing if this will help me with cleanup of the resin after I finish the printing. Well, another item that I just recently received, and I still haven't even used it. I'm not sure how well it will perform, but on the other hand, as I said, I bought some kind of a paper filters, the ones that have mesh on top, the larger ones that even in a large 1 liter bottle of resins do not fit, and the resin just seeps out all over. Pouring of the resin back into the bottle actually is not an issue. Issue is small particles or leftover prints or something detached that then gets back recycled in the bottle. So that's where this metallic mesh comes into play. The resin part, or this resin cup or whatever, is just used to funnel everything nicely back into the bottle. I've seen one nice print that I may be doing, that Oriental copper or whatever is called from the dune, printed in resin. So I may print that and then try and see if this funnel and this metallic mesh cup funnel is really helpful or not. I'm worried that maybe, on the other hand, this one is too small. As I said, I'm using usually 1 liter bottles of resin, and it's very hard, you know, with the gloves and everything, to pour everything nicely. So I just am worried that maybe this may be too small. But on the other hand, I wanted something more long-term than the paper funnels. I don't know how helpful at the end this will be. But if you, need it, you can try it, and the price of €1.70 with the free shipping really is not that high. So maybe this is something that will help you with your 3D prints. Let's check this package. I see what you did there. So COB LED, addressable, plenty of LEDs, at least it should have plenty of LEDs. And I will be replacing my desk strip with those lights. I think there is a 2 meter or 1.5 meters or something like that here. Double-sided adhesive tape at the back. And these should be 5 volts. This should be just plug and play replacement for my current LEDs, and this should give me more lights on the desk, create nicer patterns, etc. We have a connection here. This was soldered, so yeah, they probably do 1 meter strips, then they solder if you need more. Oh, I see another cut or soldering spot here. Until we plug this in, I cannot tell you anything more about it, so let's check the web listing, and later I'll tell you how it's working in my setup as a replacement for the current LED strip. I will be once again pairing it with Home Assistant. This will be my Stream Desk WLED, powered by DIY version of Diguno. So I didn't buy Diguno boards, I built around 15-18 boards. But unlike the previous item, this item is actually used, and used a lot. And I use it every day, couple of times a day. Actually, now it's on, and this is this LED strip. I bought 2 meters. The price was €12.26, or currently is, with the cost of shipping of €1.37. And what language is this? Much better. And it works perfect. It's COB LED strip, meaning that it looks like the LEDs are not just a tiny little blob or tiny little LED on the strip itself. It looks like the whole LED strip is emitting the light all throughout the length. But on the other hand, it's also addressable LED, so it means that you can control it. And I'm using my WLED DIY version of the Uno board, and it's been running on my desk. My desk is actually very small. I think I have the smallest desk of all the YouTube content creators around Home Assistant and Smart Automation. It's actually 1 meter and 10 centimeters. So I bought 2 meters and I have cut it out to only 110 LEDs. When I say only 110 LEDs, previously I think I had around 30 LEDs under my desk or behind my desk, and now I have 180 LEDs, and I really do like, because now you do not see the LEDs themselves, you just see the waves of the light moving on the wall behind my recording setup, which is something I was really looking for. If you are looking for a 5-volt LED, and this was something that I was looking for, 5-volt LED, so I can power it off my current power strip, this is the one that I got. There is option to go for this one here, but I was just afraid that 160 LEDs on 1 meter would be too much in terms of power consumption. And for me, I don't see a difference, or I don't think that I would be seeing that much more different than the current one, because it's just an ambient light reflecting on the wall from behind my desk. This is how it actually looks in the WLED. Of course, it's also controllable and is controlled via the Home Assistant, although I did select or pre-select here what I want to see there. What I want to see on the wall or on the LED strip. And as I've mentioned already in one of my videos, I have it connected to my Olymptech sensor, the presence sensor. The video will be linked probably somewhere around here. Every time I sit on the desk, it gets triggered. So while I'm recording, while I'm doing my videos, I have nice LEDs behind my monitors. Something that you do not actually see, but it looks nice to me. Fanzhengxin official store with the 4.8 was the store where I bought the LEDs. And of course, the link to this item and all the other items will be down in the video description. I was really looking forward to this package. I did remove parts of the packing because there were just too many stickers, labels, etc. So let's open it. Small business run by one person, I think out of Portugal, or I'm sure out of Portugal. And if I can buy anything for my printer from them, I would definitely buy them from them. And to be honest, I almost bought it. What it means is that each year, or it was already done a couple of times, Voron owners create a Secret Santa event. So I went on the site, I bought 2 items. I bought this one for me, and also I bought one for the present. The company owner saw my name because I already also previously ordered stuff from him. So he cancelled my order and sent me this free of charge. So in order to have full disclosure, I at the end got refunded for this, but actually I did pay for it. So yeah. Ooh, everything is here. So what's this? Voron printers, if you built a Voron printer and went stock, you usually had to buy a device that measures the magnetic resonance or difference in magnetic field, and as it approaches the print bed, the magnetic field changes, so it uses that to know how close or far away from the build plate it is, and it's used to fine-tune the position of the tool head versus the build plate. And it's okay, and I didn't have that much problem with mine. Mine is working okay, but a lot of people had. So some people created mod for the Voron printers, and that mod was clicky. It is using actually a switch like this, where it touches the surface of the print bed with this switch, and it knows that when it touches that's reference 0. So it homes around the build plate and knows the position or distance of tool head versus the build plate. And finally, Voron guys designed Voron TAP. Voron TAP is something similar like some other companies have. It actually puts the whole tool head on a small rail, and when I say small rail, this is the rail, 5 centimeters. Yeah, it's a 5 centimeter rail, and the tool head moves up and down, and when it touches the build plate, it pushes up, then it uses this sensor to detect it moved up, so it knows exactly where it is. And it shouldn't create any artifacts or damage the build plate. I think that the pressure is up to, or build plate has to be fastened or secured up to 800 grams of pressure on that position to work correctly. So what this is, with the big intro done, this is the full kit. You have MGN rail, and this is also because you don't need to cut it yourself. This is pre-cut to the exact length. You have everything needed for mounting, all the types of the screws. I see washers here. I think these are M3s. They are needed for a couple of places. So everything that's needed. You also have heat inserts. All the nuts, bolts, everything is included in the kit. What's this? Oh, magnets, sorry. Yeah, magnets. According to the information I got, these magnets should really be strong magnets. These are not some cheap Chinese that often fail. When magnet fails, it just means that it's not magnetic enough. But then this kit also includes this, and this is, let's open it up, new release, new version. I think this is the 2.1 version of the sensor. This is optical sensor, or called OctoTAP PCB. You can build sensor by yourself. You don't need this PCB. You can buy this PCB, and you can also use some kind of clicky sensor. This sensor and these boards are recommended by the Voron devs team because all the components here have been tested, and this one should be able to work between 5 and 24 volts. So depending on what you already have on your printer, you should easily replace your existing sensor, whole sensor, with this one. So it can work on 5 volts. This is 5 volt optical sensor, but it can also step down the voltage if you power it via 24 volts. This one has 3 wires. Everything is included in this kit. Actually, I don't know if you can hear it or not. I'm also printing some parts for it because, yeah, with Vorons it goes like this. You print the parts, then you wait for some parts, and when the parts arrive, the parts that you printed are already old parts, so you have to print the newer version parts. But it's also great because I will also be replacing my stealth burner on my printer with a new one, because I still have beta 6 or beta 8 version of the stealth burner. So I will be replacing it with the new version, and I'm also now printing it not in full black stealth. I'm printing it with the accent color, so it will be red and black. This shop does get featured a lot, especially lately, but I don't know if you've seen, they have now new logo. Actually, when I bought this item, it still had an old logo. The version of OctoTAP was, I think, revision 1.2, which had issues with 24 volts, but I'm not using 24 volts, I'm using 5 volts, so I didn't have a problem with that. This is used to configure or create or install Voron TAP probe kit. You can buy a couple of options. You can buy just hardware kit, depending on the board that you want to use, with the switch, Omron switch, OctoTAP PCB, hardware kit for the high temperature. So there are a lot of options for you with this Voron TAP probe kit. I am pretty satisfied on how it works. I may at the end reprint everything because I'm now trying to find a better ABS than the current ABS I'm using. I'm trying to switch from ABS Plus, which is a beginner's type of ABS, to go to more stable, traditional and more toxic versions of ABS, pure ABS. So I may at the end reprint part of it. I will be probably keeping this Voron TAP probe kit, what I can save. I'm also considering for the back plates, instead of printed materials, to use something like this. This is a Voron CNC tab by Vitali. There is option to use CNC kit plus screws plus magnets. I will not be going with the octotap version because I don't need it. I will not be using even rail because I don't need it, but I may go for this CNC kit plus screws plus everything. It should prove to be even more sturdier because the precision of the printer depends greatly on the flexing or non-flexing of the parts. Since these parts will be CNC'd, not 3D printed, they should be more sturdier. But yeah, once again, this item was bought from Lab 4450 store, and currently the kit that I bought is selling for 40 euros. I've mentioned this a couple of times. If you are into 3D printing, especially if you are into Vorons, go check the store. It doesn't have a ton of things, but it really does have a lot of things that can help you upgrade, finish, or work on your 3D printer. HT801 Grandstream. By the time that you see this video, this update or something that this will be used in future will already be released. This is ATA. ATA is actual device at the time when voice over IP was just starting, when people had normal analog phones. ATA is device that translates from digital to analog. So you plug this into your network and here you plug your phone, provided it power, and that should be it. And why do I even have this device? Well, because of Home Assistant. By the time, as I said, that you see this device, it will already probably be out. But yeah, so this device will be used at a time before we have a wake-up word to hook up the old telephone, analog phone, and then talk to Home Assistant, which is kind of neat idea. I still do not have analog phone. I would love to buy somewhere cheap, you know, either those big desk red phones, to have a red phone on my desk, or to find some kind of a wall-mounted old style phone and then hook that one to this, give it the power, hook it to Home Assistant, you take the headset and yeah, ask your system or give it command and it should respond back. Let's check the web listing. This item is an old item, actually not that old. I think I bought it in, oh yeah, I bought it in March, 30th of March. This item was bought for the Home Assistant Hear of the Voice. I still have it here, it's currently disconnected. I had it for like 6 months connected and I was playing with it. But as I was anticipating the wake up world, well, actually I was not anticipating it, everybody was anticipating it, we knew it was coming. So we prepared some other things to play with the active wake word in Home Assistant. But still, I think that this is a great item, and although my primary use was to use it with Home Assistant, and it works great with Home Assistant, and I think in the EU, if you're trying to buy this item as a new, this on the Amazon can probably be the best deal you can find. You can of course find them on the eBay, those are usually used, and you can also find them a ton for around 20, 25, 30 euros max on AliExpress, but they or those on AliExpress that are sold are also used items. They are probably pulled from contact centers, replaced with something else, and they are now selling it. Some do arrive with the power adapters, others do not arrive. This one is, as I said, it was a new item, packed with everything, cables, power adapter, everything. I just had to configure it and it was up and running in Home Assistant in like minutes. The idea of using Home Assistant with headset actually is fun, and I will be probably installing this in permanent location somewhere, probably not here, probably in the summer house or somewhere else, because I think that the idea of picking up the phone and saying the command to your home to do something, it's a bit retro, but it is also fun for all of you that are older than the 1980s probably. I bought this item, as I said, from Amazon. The price is 49.48 euros with free delivery. Of course, depends on the region when you are delivering. Actually, it's not to me. I pay around 11-12 euros for each of the deliveries. But as I said, this item can also be used for some other things. You can use it also if you are creating your local PBX to be endpoint where you can ring to. So there are a lot of cases where this item can be used in telephony mostly, but yeah, I'm using it with Home Assistant. Let's check the last item for today. Let's look at this one. Tado wireless temperature sensor. Let me open it. And here it is. So what this actually is, this is the additional temperature sensor for the tado system. And this one is used as an add-on or temperature sensor that is far away, for example, from the radiator, so that it compensates for the excessive heating of the radiator that then actually corrects the temperature in the room. There is also desk mount for it. I haven't talked about tado in a long time. So as I said, this item will be used as add-on to the tado smart thermostatic radiator valves. The kids' rooms are positioned in such a way that they are pushed out of the building, so part of the floor is unfortunately not well insulated, so the cold is creeping out through the floor. Since the tado is measuring the temperature on the valve itself, I find those valves usually very accurate, but here it isn't accurate because just 20 centimeters from the radiator you already have a cold floor and the heat or cold radiating for the floor. So I decided to buy for each of those rooms for my kids 2 of those wireless temperature sensors or add-on sensors that are then bound inside the app to the thermostatic radiator valve, and thermostatic radiator valve then ignores its internal temperature sensor, and instead is using this external one to trigger the heating or to stop the heating cycle. I've already installed both of those add-ons at a permanent location. The first one I bought was bought I think last year, or it was still last winter, and temporarily it's been sitting on desk or near the desk where my kid is studying. But finally I decided, when the second one was bought, when I figured that the first one is working, so I decided to install permanently both of them. Both of them are now installed on the wall next to the light switch, which is actually not used because sensors, voices and buttons around the room. It's now in a permanent location. I think that the overall temperature or ambient inside both of those rooms has improved. It now is heating the radiator as soon as the temperature of the room drops, not just around the radiators. So it actually, in my opinion, has improved the quality of air in terms of the temperature in both of the rooms. As you know, I do like tado. I am testing all the valve types I can test, and I like all the solutions for the market, but 8, maybe even 9 years ago, I decided to go with tado, and I'm sticking with tado, and I really do think that it works nicely. And one of the best things is that it also is incorporated or can be integrated with Home Assistant, and I'm using that a lot. I'm not saying that this is the cheapest solution. There are more cheaper solutions than that, and I've covered some of them or a lot of them already in my videos. With tado you also have possibility of running into monthly costs for the app, which I don't have because I was part of the early adopters or people that were using tado when tado was on version 1. I think currently it's on version 3 plus or something like that. If you are using tado valves, if you have tado system in your home and you are looking to improve the measurement of the temperature, this is a nice thing that you can buy to improve heating or cooling, to have better temperature tracking. And I know that a lot of people are very negative in terms of measuring the temperature of the room at the valves because they believe that the heat from the radiator will impact that heat. In some cases yes, but if the radiator is properly installed, if it has airflow, it shouldn't impact that. And believe it or not, this is it for this Mail Day with Bearded Thinker. I hope that you did like this video, and by the way, I really do appreciate all of your comments. I know that this is not something that a lot of people will be watching, and always will have less viewers than some other videos I do, especially the HACS or Home Assistant release videos. But as I said, I got inspiration for a lot of my projects and a lot of my purchases from similar videos from other creators. I'm really happy if you view them, I'm really happy if you like them, if you give them a thumbs up, and I really do appreciate any comments you make. And as always, if you do find something nice to buy somewhere, wherever that is, just drop me a link. And also on my Discord server, the link to Discord server should be down in the video description. We have a channel called Great Finds and Best Buys. If you cannot post the link here, post that on the Discord server, because we like to see what other people are buying, especially if you find something interesting. And as always, I really would like to thank all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you for all of your support. But also, let's not forget each and every one of you, especially those of you that watch videos like this, for all the views, comments, shares, subscribes, because your support really means a lot. And if you too want to support the channel, you can do it in a couple of ways. First, you can become a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month by clicking the join button down below. Or you can go to my merchandise store and get something there. But there is also option to get super thanks for a video, and I will be super thankful if you do. I will be seeing you next time. Actually, next time is this Tuesday when I will be releasing video on the TerraMaster F2-212. I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have